hey, hey.
You gotta think about it.
Think about it.
Game Girl. Game Boy.
Superstar DJs. Here we go.
Hey guys and girls, we have a package. It's full of Game Boy goodness, and yeah, probably a lesson in how to pack as well. It's a guy I bought some stuff off eBay probably a couple of months ago, and he's clearing out his collection. And periodically, I have a look, see what he's got, and he's always got best offers put up, and he'll always, accept a reasonable offer when I buy a few bits. Probably goes without saying, but economies of scale kick in, and I managed to get an even better offer. So many thanks again for the new order. Hope you don't mind the armoured packaging. Never mind that, particularly with the Nintendo cardboard. It seemed a more efficient way to deliver a number of games safely. I hope you enjoy these. Best regards, Matt. I mean, that's a bloody delight of a message. Who wouldn't want to receive stuff in a good format? Right, just going to put the phone down and get this out the package. 2 seconds. Well, that's pretty awesome. I can honestly say, in a complimentary way, I've never seen anything packed quite as good as this. There's little cable ties at the end, and it slides off. The lid slides open. And then we have the treasure inside. I'll quickly get them out of the box. He always puts them in this nice little bubble wrapped envelope, so you can probably see what they are. We'll open them up in a sec and we'll talk through each of them. We've got Mario and Yoshi. We've got NFL football. We have V-Rally Championship, or Championship Edition. A bit of FIFA. It's 97. There's a few FIFA games. I think there was like 98 would have been World Cup. One on the Game Boy as well. And I think there was one. This is the original one. I don't know what year this is, but that's I think pretty sure the first one that came out. International Soccer. We've got just plain soccer. I think it might have been called Event Soccer in the US, but over here in Europe, it's just soccer. And then finally, golf. We've got one of these, but it was too good to turn down. There's no cart in there, but I've got probably about 2 or 3 separate ones. But yeah, we'll open it and have a look. But yeah, it's in super condition, so I thought it'd be nice. Yeah, maybe I'll move it on to someone. It's a nice complete in box. Game Boy Golf, absolutely awesome game. Yeah, I think that was it. So hopefully you're impressed with the packaging. Hopefully it's motivated folk to go above and beyond when they're selling their wares. But we'll have a quick look now at each of the games. But hopefully you would have just seen me opening the box and quickly whizzing through. So you probably know what games I've already got. But we'll walk through. There was a guy on eBay selling his collection. He's been drip feeding it probably for, I want to say, about 3 months. It's been quite some time, and I built up a bit of a relationship with him. So I've been doing some bundles. He's been cheekily putting some stuff to one side and let me know when it's getting uploaded. Since the change to the eBay policy, where they've stopped charging sellers fees, he's gone a bit more gun-ho. So quite a bit more on there, more stuff to come. There's some real heavy hitters on there as well, but there's heavy hitters and then there's extreme heavy hitters that he's got not in this pile. And yeah, my 2024 budget is pretty much depleted, and it wouldn't, I'd be getting in marital trouble and disputes if I was to venture into some of that stuff. There's bits on there like what's a good example? Kid Dracula, like boxed, pretty minty, looks like unblemished. So that's probably about £1,000, I think. and he's got the biggest one of them all, Trip World, but like the original one, and it looks pristine. And I think he's put it up for. He's been a bit shrewd. I'd probably do the same thing. He's got it for like I think it's 1,500 quid or 1,300 quid, but it's like best offers, knowing he's probably not going to get that. But it just invites a bit of back and forth. There's very limited data or recent data to kind of get to an appropriate fee to even base something on, and it's not the kind of thing you'd want to put on, like bidding, because it could go either way, and if people haven't got enough money in their pockets, and clearly it's not going to draw enough of an audience, and then potentially a lucky buyer could get away with eBay murder. So he's been careful with a few. That's two. There's some other ones on there, but they're probably the two key ones. I do have Kid Dracula loose card, quite a nice version, somewhere down there, and it is a great game. But it's crazy money. The only way I could feel just even semi-justified to go for it would be to sell other ridiculously expensive stuff to fund that kind of purchase. I probably sounds a bit weird. I'd probably rather have that over Trip World, just because it's a nice PAL version. The Trip World one is it's a Japanese one, and I've got a few Japanese box games, but none that kind of extravagant, and the ones where I have got big hitters are more PAL, with a few US ones, I guess, in there. But I'd sell heavy to buy heavy. Otherwise, it feels. I know it's money, right? But it feels less real. I don't know if that's I don't know, I'm probably not explaining myself that well, but if it was to come out of my bank account, it would feel almost just like idiotic. But if I sold other stuff at prices which seemingly now are a bit idiotic, but on par with what other people are selling, and then use that to buy them, perhaps that's more legit. But by the time I finished this long rambling sentence, the world's probably moved on. He's probably sold the bloody thing. But we'll see if it's there next year. So there's some other stuff that I bought in the past. I'll be honest, I kind of filed away. I've been very what's the word? A bit more regimented with getting stuff and putting it away. So with these bits, they're fairly recent, so they were down there, and literally taken them out of the box, plonk them down there, and we'll kind of go through. But yeah, from the same guy, and clearly a collector, because everything is pucker. This one was probably a bit of a rounding error in terms of the bundle that I bought from him, because it's it's a popular, common game, not rare, not uncommon in the slightest. But the box is friggin' amazing, and I'm going to sound like a right prick, but I've got about 5 loose carts stacked away, and then at least 2-3 manuals. So this is boxed with the inlay, nothing else, from the guy, so I can Frankenstein it and have a lovely version of golf, which I'm fairly sure is better than. It's probably back there somewhere, out of reach. This version I think will be better than mine, so I'll probably move the other one along. We've both got mine, but move the original one that I had. But yeah, I do like the box art as well. It's a freaking great game, to be honest. So if you get another first party game, Mario and Yoshi. Again, I didn't have this boxed. I think I even had the manual. I certainly had the game, and I think in the US it might just be Yoshi. Puzzle game. The best way to describe it. It's going to sound a bit odd, but it's almost like a reverse Tetris, where you're moving the stuff at the bottom. You won't be able to see, but like Mario's kind of swiveling the blocks at the bottom, so you can't influence the blocks coming down, which you can in Tetris. Obviously, you're moving them left, right, you're speeding them up. But this one, you're adjusting the items at the bottom path. You want to match stuff up. And if you've got like Yoshi's eggs, you've got the bottom of the egg. If you manage to get some blocks between, and then you get the top of the egg comes down, and you line it up in the column, then you clear it. It does. It's a bit of an acquired taste. I think that's only because I'm hard coded into Tetris, like a lot of people. So when you flip the mechanic round, it makes it really difficult. It screws with your mind a little bit. It takes a bit of adjusting. But that said, because of that, it can be a nice variation, a bit of just a different take on Tetris. I mean, there aren't shaped blocks. The blocks are just images, baddies, Mario baddies, typically. So yeah, it's different, but it's one I was quite pleased to get a box version of. Sticking with the puzzle trend, we've got Yoshi's Cookie. Again, this one was fairly cheap, and he helped me out. He had it on there, and it was the only one that had like a sticker at the bottom. It was literally a price sticker. It didn't even have the name. If it had the name of the place making it up, Toys R Us or whatever, then I perhaps would have been, that's fine. But it wasn't. It was just a price, and I said, "Look, is there a reason why?" But this time I'd had bought a few bits, a good relationship with the guy, and I said, "Is there a reason you haven't taken it off?" And he said, "Oh, to be honest, no, not really." He said, "I think it could come off." And I just said to him, "Look, I'm probably still going to buy it anyway." He knew his Game Boy shit. Let's be honest. And I said, "Look, you could probably give it a better go than me. Would you mind doing it?" So to be fair to him, he did it, and genuinely, I would have, unless he'd really massacred it, which was so unlikely, I would have bought it. But he did done an amazing job. I don't think it was that taxing. I think he just hadn't got around to removing it. So I never like saying minty on any stuff, because particularly with cardboard, there's always imperfections. I don't think I've got any minty Game Boy stuff, because cardboard is fragile unless someone's put it in a safe on day one of buying it back in whenever, the late 80s, early 90s. Then it's going to have a bit of wear. As soon as you open the bloody things, it's just the nature of paper, right? It's just how it is. But the game itself, that's enough going on about the bloody box and the exchange. So the game itself is crudely put, I think it's probably an international game. It's a bit of like, say, Connect 4. It's just lining the horizontals and the verticals. They are cookie shapes, cookie designs, and you're literally just lining them up to make them disappear. And like all these other games, things, they just continue to stack up. Otherwise, if you're not quick enough, then you get thwarted, shall we say? So it's probably a bit more, probably the reverse of Mario and Yoshi with this one. For someone that, say, had never played Tetris, a youngling to this world, this would probably be a better one, an easier one to start with. But the difficulty ramps up. It won't remain easy for too long. But another first party game. Again, cool box art. Can't go wrong games. Very few Game Boy box arts that aren't that great. This one, in fact, probably is a bit mediocre, but it is a good game. So V Rally, it's an okay image. It's colourful, but it's not as good as the first party ones. It does what it needs to, but yeah, it's really good. See, behind the car, like most of the 8-bit games, behind the car driving game, you've got an array of levels, but it does, I think the frame rate, the more the perception of the speed is really good. And I think the only thing really better than this is, I think it's V Rally. I think it's called V Rally Color, but there's a pretty much identical version for the Game Boy Color. But it is nice. You go around looking at the back, a bit of Rome. There's a Colosseum there, wood scenes, mountains, and all sorts. Obviously, it's with the World Rally. You're going around the world, 20 stages. Infograms. What's a few of their titles recently? I think there's Tintin, for sure. Maybe Lucky Luke. They've done loads of stuff, haven't they? I think they did Alone in the Dark, which I might be wrong. They do that? Might be talking BS. Don't quote me. Probably wasn't them. Just the logo's making me think of Alone in the Dark. Absolute classic. I'm going to talk about the old original one. It's the one I mean, not the rehashed ones. This one, it sounds awful. I'm probably never going to play it. I don't think it's meant to be that great a game, but perhaps more to my US viewers. If anyone's watching it that has played it, maybe they'll know, because this is a US. I'm pretty sure it's the US version. I don't know if it got a PAL release. Yes, US. So Konami game. Stop bloody waffling, Ed. Konami NFL football. But I do love the box art kind of drew. I'm in an R in. There's a few other ones, probably more back there than down there, that I'd grabbed before, and I prioritised some. And this one had kind of been staring me in the eye, and I was like, shall I, shan't I? But I just love all love the helmets, the football helmets. But it looks, from the back. I need to plug it in, don't I? Really, but it's looks a bit strategic from the top. So you've got the moves from the top screenshot. Does look like a bit of a Tecmo Bowl affair for the rest of it, but very, 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 very basic graphics. An early-ish release, 1990. But yeah, official NFL. But yeah, fairly. I mean, all these are fairly cheap, to be honest. I don't think there's any in here above like 30, perhaps one or two at 40. I think these are around the 20 mark, if that. So we've got some footy games, soccer. So this is the PAL version, but I don't know if it was called. I reckon it was called something else. In the other territories is what I'm assuming, but no clues to it. I put the game in, and it's basic. It's very basic. It's almost like Crumbs, and that wasn't even a great good a game. I remember playing Italia 90 on the Specky, and the ball kind of semi sticks to you, but it looks a bit messy, and you haven't got much. So like the viewing angle, you can't really see much of the pitch. So when you're passing a bit blind. So yeah, will I play it again? Sounds bad, but likely not. But for an early-ish 1994, not that early, Game Boy game, they should have done a better job based on that year. But there's that. But one of the reasons I may not be playing that version of soccer is that I picked up the final two games in this particular pile, a couple of FIFA games. So you got the original FIFA soccer game for the Game Boy, which, to be honest, is a bit of a bloody disaster. Year 94, and just show you the back. I haven't really got much good to say about this. Extremely flickery, really, almost just like it's been programmed badly. Maybe just can't keep it. Just something's not quite right with it, because there's latter. We'll come on to one in a bit, but there's quite a few FIFA games on the Game Boy. Original one, maybe they were finding their feet, but it's very flickery. It's a button bash. Again, you've got limited visibility, a bit more than the soccer one, but limited visibility of the pitch, which doesn't make passing easy. But it was the first one. What an idiot I am! The first FIFA game on the Game Boy. EA Sports. It's in the name, in the game. Yeah, had to grab it. So that was, I said 94, didn't I? That was 94. And there was some, I'm trying to think, there was certainly a 96, probably a 95 as well. And I can't remember which way around it is. It's the 96 where they've put too much into the game graphically, which meant that 96 was a bit of a backstep from the prior one. It wasn't that good. I don't think I've got it. I think I've emulated it. So I don't think the guy had it, but I pretty honest would have stayed away. When it came to 97, they almost took a few bits out. Graphically it looks a bit simpler, but as a result the hardware can handle it, and it's a far better game. And I think it was almost the engine for this one was also used for France, would have been France, wouldn't it? World Cup 98. Which I don't think I have got from, yeah, crumbs, bloody collective FIFA subset, what a dick. Dick move. But I think that's a similar engine to this one. They just changed up the team rosters. But yeah, it'd be like, I haven't really mentioned the box quality on the last two because I probably bored you to death on the others. But this guy is, yeah, he's really looked after his games. If I can be asked, which I'm sure I will be, I'll dig back through the shelf at some point and we'll find some of the other ones that I bought from him, and we'll go through some of them. No quick ones to grab, unfortunately. So yeah, I won't waste any more of your time. But yeah, cheers for being patient. I know I've been doing these podcast things. I haven't done much stuff in front of the camera. I just wanted to mix it up, really, to be honest. Just try something a bit different. Like I say, creatively, just worked out quite easily, really. But putting stuff on Spotify and Apple, and also slightly, even if you watch it on YouTube, sounds like I'm trying to plug it, which I'm really not. But even on YouTube, just trying to do some of the backgrounds and some AI generated images, so it's not just a bloody black screen or a static thing for the duration of the podcast. I try to keep them about around the 30-minute mark, probably a little bit under for most. We've got one coming out shortly, so I was recording that earlier today, so that should come out at the weekend, depends when I decide to put this out. It may already be out, episode 7 I think. Really going to shut up now. Hope everyone's well, and yeah, hit me up in the comments if you want to comment on any of this stuff, or just say hi. That would be equally as cool. All the best. Cheers.